Hey guys, I am back and ready to launch my holiday prep series for this season because tis the season and it's coming so fast. I can't believe there's only 2 weeks till Thanksgiving. It's crazy. But I'm right on schedule with my usual preparedness. I started brainstorming presents in the late summer, Christmas gifts. That is, my family celebrates Christmas, and purchasing things mostly over the last like 3 or 4 weeks. But I'm going to do a separate holiday gift whatever video at some point. Today I'm going to talk to you about Thanksgiving, and I know this is like probably an exactly identical video to the one I posted last year, and I will put a link below if you're interested to see just how similar it is. But the thing is, I decided to go ahead and do it again because I kind of switched things up a little, just like a tiny little bit with my organizational products that I use to help me with Thanksgiving preparations, but also because I don't know, I do the same things every year. It really helps me. But every year I come back to my little folder of goodies and it's like, I gotta get back in gear and I have to go through it again. And I just don't think you can get too repetitive about big things. And Thanksgiving in our family is a big affair. It is not just family, but it is friends as well. So it's, usually we have about 20, 25 people. This year we have 29 coming, I think. 29 or 30. So it's going to be our largest one ever, but my plan isn't really changing. I'm just going as I usually do, and I'm going to take you through that step by step by first showing you what I meant when I said I have some different organizational components this year. So in years previous, I've just used a simple little file folder like so to keep my Thanksgiving things in. I do this for Easter, although I don't host the Easter party in my family, my sister-in-law does, so I just have recipes in that folder. But this was getting a little bit ridiculous for the amount of stuff I was keeping in there, so I finally upgraded to a binder, woo! And I'm going to actually tilt the camera down and go through the binder with you, but the thing is, because that Don and I, my husband Don, and I host Thanksgiving every year, and we have since 2005 with both of our families and some family friends. It just has made it easier to just keep a backlog of everything I've done in years prior. So for me, it just works. Some people just like to get rid of everything once they're done with it. But I save everything. I'm one of those kinds of people. But now I have it all in one place, and it's organized and by dividers, and I don't have to worry about things falling out anymore. And because this is a tradition that I hope that Don and I will be hosting for very many years to come, I figured I could do an inch binder. I mean, it's not very full right now, but over the years it will get fuller, and it will serve in almost as a kind of like a historical overview of Thanksgiving at our house. In basic terms, like who came and what we ate and the recipes I used and so on and so forth. So that's mainly what this is. It's just to help me really just keep organized and on track of my party. And I'm going to tilt the camera down and give you a close-up look at it. So here's the binder. I just bought a 1-inch view, I think it's called like a viewfinder binder. It basically means you can put paper in the front or in any of the sides really, to have a cover page protected by laminate. And I got this and the dividers at Staples. I believe the binder and the dividers are also from the company Avery. So what I did is I printed out a cover page that says Thanksgiving, and then I pasted in my current, this year's invitation, and I had printed out several extra. I always like to have some extra on hand just in case I need to invite somebody else, so I always usually print out 3 extra. I print my invitations myself. I use Word, the Microsoft Word, the program, and invitation designing is not that hard when you're using simple invitations like this, where really all you have to do is input the custom paper size into your page setup settings, and then also just measure with a ruler what your margins should be. And then I usually test out my design before printing on the actual cards by printing it on a regular piece of white printer paper, the design as is, and then kind of holding it up to an invitation and looking at it in the light to see, if it would line up right. That's my basic tip for that. But we do the same party every year in the same timing and sorts of things. I just like that to be consistent. People know what to expect when they're coming to our party. My Thanksgiving, I keep saying mine. Okay, our Thanksgiving, that's better, is very casual and it's a long day. We invite people to come at 1 o'clock to start watching football. And I always indicate on the bottom of the invitation that we tape all of there's usually, I think, 3 football games on Thanksgiving, 3 or 4, I think it's 3. And so we tape all of them on the 2 TiVos, the one in our family room that's up here by the kitchen and the one in the basement with our big TV. And our guests kind of, hover between those 2 areas of the house, typically anyway. And we'll have the games going at the same time. They're not always synced up exactly, but that's how it goes. So the football game starts at like 11:30 here in the Midwest. I think it's 12:30 on the East Coast. So we record that and then we air it right at 1 o'clock. And we just keep showing them. And people can come whenever they want. It's not like they have to be here at 1. If they want to watch the football game with us from start to finish, they come at 1. And 1 o'clock is when I put out snacks. And we don't have a Thanksgiving supper until 5. So it's 4 hours of snacks and football. That might seem like a long time, but like I said, people don't have to come right at 1, and some don't. They know that they can come anytime before 5, really. If they want dinner, dinner is served right at 5 every year. I like that it's a relaxed paced evening, or day really, and it's a whole day spent with family and friends. So even though I have a lot of cooking and running around to do, I can do it and also play hostess and be with my guests in between all of that. So it works out really well. And then I always say to bring an appetite and your favorite slippers to kind of indicate, especially if we're inviting new people, which we have a couple new people once in a while, that it is a casual affair, that it's not, very fancy or whatever. So anyway, I'm gonna have this from now on where I will put in the new copy of my invitation every year. So when you open up the binder, you can see over here I have my to-do lists from last year. I made a point of saving these. This is my day before Thanksgiving to-do list and my day of Thanksgiving schedule. Now, I break down Thanksgiving by time increments, starting with hourly increments, and then as I put the turkey in, moving into 15-minute increments up until dinner is served. And that just really helps me keep on top of things. I followed this exact schedule for the last couple of years. Well, not exactly, but like give or take a few things. And it has just kept me on top of things. I don't feel stressed, I don't feel rushed, I don't feel behind. I recommend finding a schedule that works for you, and you will learn as you do Thanksgiving more often, or bigger parties like Thanksgiving, or even if it's not a big party for you, just like a party with a lot of food, I guess, and a lot of timing of things, you'll figure out what kind of schedule works for you. And even if you think you know it, sometimes when you're flustered, when you're busy, you can forget things. So that's why I like to have everything detailed. So I have last year's schedule and last year's day before Thanksgiving schedule, so when I make this year's schedule, I can reference that because I know that worked for me. Then over on this side is where we start with the divider. So I got a 5-tab pocketed divider set. Again, I think they're by Avery. And I have them labeled. I use my label maker because the little labels they came with, I found they were like impossible to get into the little tabs, so I just stuck my labels on them and I can change them. That's the great thing about labels. So the first one is guest list. And you might be thinking, why do you need a whole section just for guest list? Well, this is where I've started archiving all of the guest lists from previous years. So over here I have my version of I like to have one invitation I keep for me. That's for either a scrapbook or something like that. So that's in here, also to reference. And then a current to-do list that I'm working through. I've almost gotten through all those right now. It's right in the front of the binder, so it's easy to see. And then I made an edited version of my guest list and took out all the last names. Usually I put all the last names in because I just pull them from my invitation. I pull them from my address lists. But this is our guest list this year. And what I will do is I will start checking off, and I already did this on my actual copy, which is right behind this, but I didn't do it on my showing on YouTube copy. I will check off who is coming using check marks, because you can see under some of the numbers I have more than one person listed. In fact, in one of them I have 5. So I will put 2 check marks by us, 2 by my parents, 5 by all these people, and so on and so forth, as I know how many of each invited group of people is coming, if that makes sense. And when I have a total number, I will put in that at the bottom. And I have done that, I have had a guest list like that since 2007 was when I started typing them up. We've been hosting Thanksgiving at our home since 2000. Yeah, that's it, since 2007. So that's when I started printing, typing up my guest list. And I actually have a folder on my computer, and I will try to insert a little footage here where you can see I have a folder called Invites and Addresses or something like that, and I have all the different kinds of parties we host. And in each folder, I'll show you the Thanksgiving folder, I have it broken down by year into folders, subfolders. So that way, when I'm, say next year, when I want to make my guest list and my invitation and all that, I will go into the 2012 folder, pull up those Word documents, make new copies of them under 2013 and start a new folder, and then make adjustments as I need to. Since I do the same sort of invitation every year, it kind of works out that I can just copy and paste things and change dates and fonts and that sort of thing. So I'm liking having this archive kind of vibe going with my Thanksgiving prep binder here. The next section is rental info. So the past couple of years we have had to rent tables and chairs. Well, last year was the first year I did it, and this year's the second year, because we just have more guests than I have ability to accommodate with the tables and chairs I have. I just find it so easy. I basically clear all of the furniture out of my living dining room combinations, just like one big room. A lot of it goes into our garage or just pushed up against the walls, and then the delivery, I have the company, and we use House of Rental, which is a local company, deliver the tables and chairs to me. That way everything's uniform. They also deliver linen, so they have, I get my tablecloths and napkins from them, and then they pick it all up the day after Thanksgiving. So I last year had them come the week before Thanksgiving. I had them come the Friday before. That worked out great because I had my tables set the weekend before Thanksgiving, which helped me out a ton. And I'm doing the same thing this year, except I'm having them come Thursday before Thanksgiving, so exactly 1 week ahead to deliver everything. And I'm sure I'll be vlogging that process, but if you want to see what I mean by moving all my furniture, that was in my Thanksgiving prep video last year. Again, I will link that below because I think it's a different video. But this is my contract with them. And then also, I have my seating arrangement from last year, because seating arrangements are tough. If you've ever hosted a big party or a wedding or something, you know it is not easy to seat people and have them all be happy. But I worked out a seating arrangement last year that really worked. And this year I've already gone ahead and done that as well. I can only fit 3 tables in that space, but I had to go up to a bigger table size to accommodate more people. So I'm going to have 2 tables of 10 and 1 table of 9. And I've actually already figured out the seating arrangement, which is going to help me a ton. So that's that section. The next section is menu, and this includes menus from the previous year. So I have this year's menu. It's sort of tentative right now. I'm kind of waiting to hear back from people. And how I break down my menu, and I did show this in detail last year, is I put them, I have it divided by, timing of food. So snacks, supper, dessert, and then goodie bags is just what I send. I always send people home with chocolate chip cookies when they come to my house, basically. So for snacks, I've written down a list of what I think we're gonna have, who I think is providing that or making it, and then if it's me, you can tell it's me by the Jennifer next to it, I either put a TH for Thursday or a W for Wednesday, because that's when I know when I will be preparing that particular thing. Most of the snacks I actually prep and prepare the day before, and I'll even plate some things. It just helps me a lot. Again, this is things you can see the vlogging video if you guys are interested. Oh. I just got a little furry visitor. You want to make a cameo? Hi. I'm helping Mommy. You can sit with me. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, so I tend to do a very similar menu year to year because it's Thanksgiving. It's the holiday where you can really do that and get away with it, and everybody's really happy. Everybody expects turkey and cranberry sauce and mashed potatoes and green bean casserole and pumpkin pie and apple pie. I mean, it's so great. It's the best holiday because you can share it with your family and your good friends, and you can make the same food and become really good at making that food, even if you're not like the best cook in the world. I'm good at making Thanksgiving stuff, even though I don't think I'm particularly good at making other food, with the exception of baked food. I can make Thanksgiving things. Honey, this is interesting that you're taking over my video. Yeah, okay. But I have my menu from last year and the year before. Prior than that, I did not print out my menus. I had them written out, so I have them saved here as well. And I like seeing what I made in years past, even if it's the same things for the most part. There have been some fluctuations, who brought what, that sort of thing. I just like looking at that kind of stuff. The last two sections are dedicated to recipes. The first one is recipes to use, and recipes I'm absolutely positive I'm using this go around. So I have, and most of the recipes I use are from Martha Stewart, and you can find them at marthastewart.com. Her turkey brine and giblet stock, I will do both of those things on the Wednesday before. Her gravy, you have to make that after the turkey comes out of the oven. That's my last minute thing that I make. Her ultimate Thanksgiving menu with roasted brine turkey, and her Big Martha's mashed potatoes with cream cheese. These are amazing. And then the last few years I've been making this apple pie with cheddar crust, which is totally yummy, also from Martha Stewart. The pumpkin cream pie is like an icebox pie. You don't have to bake it, and you can make it the day before, and it is fantastic. I highly recommend it. And the pumpkin cupcakes that I made last year, I'm probably going to make again, and I think those were from the Martha Stewart cupcakes recipe book, but I'll have to double check on that. But you guys will see, I'm vlogging for Vlogadays on my housewife life, so you guys can check that out if you want to see my Thanksgiving process in action. The last section is for other recipes, and they're either recipes I've used in previous years, actually mostly recipes I've used in previous years and have moved away from, but it's, I might go back to them at some other point. So it's, a couple desserts and a pie. And then lastly here I have this snap folder that has my extra invitations in it, and on top of it I have a sticky note that says how many extra invitations I have and how many extra envelopes in the case I want to mail out more things. And that is my entire Thanksgiving binder. And I'm very happy to have a binder this year and to use and enjoy for the coming years. So as you can see, this is just helping me keep on track of things. I already had a pretty good system. I just didn't have a very good thing to organize my system, and now I do, and I really do enjoy using binders for organization. In fact, when I went out and bought my new binder, and you'll now see exactly which ones I bought because I have the new ones right here. I actually bought another one in dark green for my holiday party prep. This year we're hosting 2 holiday parties, so I need to get on top of that, so I bought a binder for that. And it's the Heavy Duty One Touch EZD binder from Avery in the 1-inch size, and these are the Big Tab Pocket Insertable Plastic Dividers, also by Avery, and it's a packet of 5. So if you're curious about that, that's exactly what I bought, and I plan on doing a similar concept kind of thing for the holiday parties. Actually, I'm hosting 3 holiday parties. I take that back. Not 2. But I'm really feeling on top of things. My invites went... I really spent a whole bunch of time at the end of last week prepping for Thanksgiving. 3 weeks ahead is really when I do my major Thanksgiving prep. Most of the people coming to my party know they're coming. Excuse me, our party, know they're coming. So I don't feel the need to go by the traditional invitation rule to send out 4 weeks in advance. I just do really just like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. That's plenty of time. I made sure I rented my tables. I made sure I ordered my turkeys. And this year we're getting a supplemental ham because we're having so many people. We're having 2 20 to 22 pound birds and 1 18-pound ham, and then a plethora of other food. It's an eating fest. You know, I think I said I ordered my tables and all of that, and I worked through my menu, and I really did a lot of the like thinking preparatory work. And next week I will start, I can't believe it, but I'll start setting up at the end of next week. It is crazy, it's happening so fast. Anyway, that was my Thanksgiving prep for now. If you'd like to see me in action, like I said, you can check out my second channel, My Housewife Life. I'm going to be vlogging from sometime before Thanksgiving, either like the week before or just a few days before, I'm not sure, but the week of Thanksgiving up and through New Year's Eve. So there'll be a lot of prep work for parties and holiday prep in that as well. But in the meantime, I will be back with a new holiday prep series next week. Probably, I'm going to give you a hint, it's probably my Container Store Winter Wonderland gift wrap haul, because I want to get that up before they run out of all the good stuff, which they do. And then my stocking stuffer guide will be up shortly after that. And that is what I have to share today. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you are, you know, getting organized. Maybe this gave you some ideas for how to do that. I'd love to hear how you get organized for big parties like this or other kinds of parties. If you feel like sharing, leave a comment below, and I'll see you real soon. Thanks for watching, you guys. Take care. Bye.